Hey everybody, it's Rob from SonyRumors.net, and today we have another video review for you guys. Now, this is going to be a slightly different video review because it's something that a lot of people have had a lot of requests for, and I honestly haven't seen a whole lot of information and reviews out there based on it, so I'm actually pretty excited to do this one, and that is of the Sony Bloggie 3D. And again, like the name suggests, this is indeed a 3D camcorder. But the key thing that we need to also keep in mind is that this guy does absolutely record in 2D as well, but it gives you the option for 3D capabilities. Now, for those of you who haven't seen a video unboxing, you guys can go ahead and just click on this video right up here, and this will basically give you guys a pretty good idea of what's inside the box when you open it up, what you can expect and what you can't. So without further ado, now we're going to jump into the hardware category of this, go over the hardware, and then we'll progressively go down further and further into the details of the 2D video, the 3D video, as well as the photo capabilities, and then give you guys an overall wrap up of what the Bloggie 3D can or cannot do for you guys. As I discussed in the video unboxing that we did for the Bloggie 3D, one of the things that I really do like about this guy is that it does have a really nice finish to it. It doesn't feel like you're going to break this guy in any shape or form, and they made a few modifications compared to the previous model that I actually do appreciate, and one of them is removing the USB pop out from the bottom and placing it on the side. And one of the things that really this gains you is that with the previous Bloggie that we have here, the Bloggie Touch, you have your lens mount right at the bottom, and then you have your USB pop out. So this means though that if you place it on a tripod or a tripod mount, every time you actually do want to plug it into your computer and import footage in, you do have to unscrew that and then be able to connect it to your computer. Now with this guy right here, it means that I can leave it plugged in to my tripod mount, and whenever I need to, just slide it off my tripod and plug it into my computer. And then from there on, I don't have to consistently take it on and off by, you know, wearing this loose and just doing that whole process over and over again. So that is one of the things that I really do like about it. From there on, like I said, you do lose the touchscreen, but it's really not a big deal with this guy. Again, you have your navigation buttons right over here, as well as the circular button here where you can go on about. So again, there's really not a whole loss with the touchscreen. And if anything, on a device like this, you know, because it doesn't have the price point of, say, iPhone or something like that, the touchscreen isn't nearly as responsive as one of those units. So if you've been used to, you know, your iPod Touch, your iPhone, your Evo phone, your iPad or something like that, where it's a very responsive touchscreen, and you go to one of these guys, it is slightly, you know, frustrating because it doesn't have that same response time because it's not nearly as an expensive a device. So here, if anything, you do you are able to navigate throughout the menus much more easily because it's just the buttons you push, you click it, and lo and behold, you are right there with it. Other things about this guy is it definitely comes with a 5-megapixel camera as well as HD recording, where it can record 720p in both 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, and 1080p at 30 frames per second. And when this guy does record in 3D, it does record in full 1080p for you guys. So again, that's another little tidbit, that it doesn't bump you down to 720p. It can record 3D for you. The key thing with the 3D as well is because the way the lenses are lined up right over here, you do have to record in landscape mode. It cannot record in portrait mode. If you try that, it will let you know that you do need to turn the Bloggie sideways. And unlike the previous Bloggies where those recorded in mono, this guy does have a stereo microphone in it as well. So in a lot of ways, it really has a beefed up camera. So obviously what that's going to bring into question is, you know, what does the 2D footage look like, and what does the 3D footage look like, and what do pictures taken on this guy look like. So that's what the next few segments are going to be, is we're going to go over the 2D footage for you guys, we're going to go over the 3D footage for you guys, and then we're going to go over some pictures, and then after that we're going to wrap this up and kind of give you guys my entire thought from using it throughout Comic-Con. So the following segment is just going to be some 2D footage recorded with this guy, because again, the key thing is that this can record in 2D and 3D as well, and there might be instances where you might not need to record in 3D. And just to kind of give you guys a little heads up with that, the way that works is right over here you actually have the capability of turning 3D on, and when we click that, you're gonna notice the camera shuts off, and now it is in its 3D mode. So again, that's how you can go between 2D and 3D. So now let's take a look at some 2D footage. Now, because this video itself is a 2D video and not a 3D one, there was no way to really insert the 3D footage right over here. So if you guys actually click on this video box right up here, this basically is a 5 to 10 minute piece that I put together with a bunch of videos from Comic-Con, all recorded in 3D. And so this should give you a pretty good idea of what the 3D capabilities are of this camera. And while speaking about 3D in itself, it's noteworthy that the 3D can be uploaded to YouTube, and you can automatically watch YouTube videos in 3D if you just have one of these old school 3D glasses. Or if you have a 3D TV, then you can plug the Bloggie 3D into it, whether it's via your PS3 or whether you directly plug into it, and then you can use your passive or active shutter glasses depending on the type of television you have to view back that 3D content. But the 3D recording on here is a flexible one, and what's actually interesting about it is that it does record it in an MP4 file, so it's actually not an alienating file to your computer in any shape or form, and you can take it into programs like Final Cut, iMovie, or even Windows Movie Maker, that's what it is. Even into Windows Movie Maker and edit it. The only key thing is if those programs don't properly support 3D, and I don't believe any of the three that I just mentioned support it in any shape. I can definitely tell you the new Final Cut Pro 10 doesn't. But what it shows you is it shows you the left and right video at the same time. And so what you can do is if you want to turn it into a 2D video, you can just crop one eye, extend it out again, and get your 2D video that way. If you directly just upload the 3D video from the Bloggie to your computer and up to YouTube, YouTube actually will note that there's a left and right eye for you. And if you enable the 3D video, YouTube will automatically add an additional button right there, and people can click on it and will show the 3D version of it. And for those who don't want to, they can turn the 3D off and view the video in 2D. So that's actually the real nice part, is YouTube is smart enough that it can distinguish between 2D and 3D video directly from the Bloggie. Now, if you want to edit in 3D, right now the only semi-consumer program that I know out there is from Sony itself, Sony Vegas Pro, and that program I think ranges anywhere from $300 to $500, and that will actually give you lots of different 3D recording options and editing options in addition to what this guy does. But again, as of right now, the capabilities of editing in 3D are a little limited for consumers. So I think the key thing with this guy is the fact that you can just easily create 3D content, via just recording, but in terms of a production side, it is a little bit more of a hassle to get that going. But again, if you guys want, just click on this video and this will take you into a full 3D trailer of video quality from the Bloggie 3D. This next segment right here is actually just a compilation of different photos taken with the Bloggie 3D, and the Bloggie 3D does have a 5 megapixel camera, and I took some interior shots, I took some exterior shots, and I took some interior shots at dark with and without the flash. And that's actually one of the nice little things about this guy, is that it does have an LED flash and an LED light onto it, and so you can actually turn it on right over here. And there you go. You have the LED light if you're recording a movie, or it turns into a flash if you're taking a picture. Here are some of those photos for you. what you get for the Bloggie Touch, which is priced at $249, which is the MSRP, and you can realistically find it at Amazon right now for $219 or $220. You do get a pretty hefty camera that records some great 2D and 3D footage as well. Again, the screen on this guy is pretty great when you're viewing 2D content, and when it goes into 3D mode, you do lose a little bit of screen quality, but it doesn't mean your video itself is actually degraded. It's just the way the screen itself displays the 3D without the need for glasses. But again, coming in at that price point, especially the $220 if you're going to get it online, you're really getting just in general a great 2D camera that can also record in 3D. Beyond that, the camera itself feels great in the hand. The LED flash is a nice thing to have, and it gives you really decent battery lifetime on itself. One other thing to note is, again, the 3D, when you do switch over to the 3D view, don't compare it to a traditional 3D TV. You know, it doesn't have nearly that same depth of color and range. Again, the key thing with that is that's not actually true for how your video itself is going to turn out. But seeing that this is one of the first few hybrid LCD screens out there that doesn't require glasses, keep in mind that you are going to lose a little bit of just viewing quality when you're looking at it. But in general, really, if someone's looking right now at a Bloggie and they don't mind, you know, spending slightly more on top of the Bloggie Touch's price point, the Bloggie 3D really gives you amazing 2D and 3D footage for really a cheap price. And with that, it packs in great audio and some just great features on itself, and it's very, very easy to use. Hey everybody, so that has been our video review of the Bloggie 3D. Now for those of you who are looking for a more in-depth review, there's actually going to be one on our site as well, and that's really going to break down into all the little nitty-gritty details of it, as well as other examples from the pictures and our experience with the camera at Comic-Con. As always, you guys can subscribe to our channel and look at our previous videos as well, so definitely do that. And don't forget to interact with us on Twitter and or Facebook, or obviously in the comments section. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys again.